If you immerse yourself in these sacred waters of Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj, all your sins will be washed away, and there will be no rebirth. A once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness the grandeur of the Mahakumbh Mela. Here's what makes it truly divine. After a long wait at Sharjah airport, our flight to Varanasi finally arrived. My best friends Arun and Fajil accompanied me on this journey, a journey that was entirely different from any other I had ever undertaken. It was a spiritual journey. Our plane took off over the dazzling skyscrapers of Arabia. After a flight of about 4 hours, we landed at Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport in Varanasi. While it may not be described as magnificent, it is a relatively decent airport. Besides Varanasi, Lucknow and Ayodhya are the other notable international airports near Prayagraj. As we stepped out, we were greeted by an old man, our driver from Varanasi to Prayagraj. Fajil asked him for his name, and bewilderment washed over his face when the old man spoke. "I think the old man called me a bad name," he humorously remarked, trying to lighten the mood. We peered closely at the man and then asked him his name again. "Mauryan Chacha," he replied, and with his toothless grin, it became clear what he had said earlier may have been misinterpreted. Fajil's withered face brightened up. Despite his missing teeth, Chacha had a beautiful smile. His hair was tied back in a ponytail, and we engaged in animated conversation. It didn't take long for us to grow fond of him. After sipping masala chai from a clay cup at a rather unkempt roadside tea shop, we began our journey to Prayagraj, a long trek ahead of us. The roads were excellent, and although the distance of about 135 kilometers typically took 2.5 to 3 hours, the Mahakumbh Mela festivities raised questions about what lay ahead. Not long into our journey, we discovered that Mauryan Chacha was not only an excellent driver, but also a person quick to express his opinions, sometimes quite vocally. While sharing his toothless grin, Chacha didn't hold back when it came to voicing his thoughts about the Uttar Pradesh police. After a 3-hour journey, we finally reached the edge of Kumbhanagri. It was a breathtaking sight, illuminated with colorful lights and street lamps that echoed the hues of the tricolor flag. Soon we arrived at the hotel. After checking in and leaving our luggage in our rooms, we ventured out with just our passports, while Chacha rested, weary from the journey. The roads were nearly deserted. Our hotel was located near the Rambagh railway station in Prayagraj, a hub of electric rickshaws. After observing the basic facilities and the surroundings in Prayagraj, we wandered for a while before returning to the hotel in an electric rickshaw. The journey had begun at 7 a.m., and now, as the clock struck 11:30 p.m., everyone was exhausted. We fell asleep almost instantly. The next morning, the 3 of us arrived at a boat jetty on the Yamuna river to embark on a boat trip to the Triveni Sangam. The scene there was magnificent. Against the backdrop of a rising sun, with a new Yamuna bridge in view and hundreds of small and large boats in the water, Fajil, like a wise elder at home, took charge, bargained, and secured a boat just for the 3 of us. The boat, initially quoted at 6,000, was procured for a mere 2,500. Thus, aboard the boat arranged by Fajil, we began our journey toward Triveni Sangam. Lalu Bhai and Motu, our boat drivers, guided us forward. The views surrounding us were nothing short of spectacular, accompanied by the presence of patrol boats from the UP police. We donned life jackets and other safety gear throughout this adventure. Although Fajil had jumped at the first chance to hear about the Kumbh Mela, Arun and I sensed a hint of apprehension in his heart. Fajil, whose full name is Fajil Erumanthanath Ismail, introduced himself here as Mr. Erumanthanam, as if he were a descendant of a powerful Nair family from Kerala. This boat ride, framed by the splendor of the rising sun, turned out to be an extraordinary experience for us. Thousands of Siberian gulls gracefully circled around us as we glided along, with hundreds of boats joining us on this journey toward the sacred land of Triveni Sangam. Our country, rich in its magnificent culture, has once again captured the world's attention with the Mahakumbh Mela, which occurs only once every 144 years. Certified by UNESCO as the world's largest spiritual and cultural gathering, the Kumbh Mela extends from 13th January, Posh Purnami, to 26th February, Mahashivratri, at the confluence of the Ganges, Yamuna, and Saraswati rivers in Prayagraj. We slowly approached the holy Triveni Sangam, and the density of boats around us increased. Some boats jostled against ours, bumping and nudging as we maneuvered through the throng. Only a few moments remained before we would reach the Triveni Sangam, a destination we had long awaited with wonder in our hearts. Would we be able to make it through this rush? Would we finally take a dip in the sacred waters of the Triveni Sangam? This boat trip, which began at the foot of the Naini Bridge on the Yamuna River, has been underway for 20 minutes now. Arun and Fajil gaze curiously at the breathtaking morning views surrounding us, scenes we have never witnessed before. It is an extraordinary feeling to think that in just a few minutes, our boat, gliding along the Yamuna River, will reach the Triveni Sangam, where the sacred waters of the Ganges and Saraswati converge. What is this Kumbh Mela? The Kumbh Mela is an important Hindu pilgrimage rooted in a captivating legend about the churning of the ocean, known as Kshirosagra, the mythological ocean of milk. In this tale, the gods, affected by a curse from sage Durvasa, wanted to drink nectar to free themselves from their affliction. To achieve this, they joined forces with the demons to churn the ocean. They used Mount Mandara as the churning rod and the serpent Vasuki as the rope. As the demons held Vasuki's head and the gods grasped its tail, the mountain began to sink into the depths of the sea. To prevent this disaster, Lord Vishnu took on his Kurum, tortoise, avatar to support the mountain. As the churning continued, the first thing to emerge from the ocean was a deadly poison. To protect the world from this toxin, Lord Shiva selflessly drank the poison. Seeing this brave act, Goddess Parvati, filled with fear, clasped Lord Shiva's neck tightly. It is said that from that day on, Lord Shiva's throat remained blue from the poison, earning him the name Nilkant. The enduring tradition of a wife grasping her husband's neck, even in the absence of poison, persists to this day. From the depths of the cosmic ocean of milk emerged a treasure trove of divine artifacts: Aravta, the magnificent white elephant; Parijat, the celestial flowering tree; Kaustubha, the radiant gem; Panchajanya Shankha, the glorious conch shell; and Kamdhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow. Among these divine wonders materialized the idol of Dhanvantari, resplendent in golden rays, who brought forth the Amrita Kumbha, the sacred pot of nectar. A fierce struggle ensued between the gods and demons over the Amrita Kumbha, a conflict that raged for what felt like 12 days, equating, in the divine realm, to 12 human years. Ultimately, the majestic Garuda, the divine eagle, emerged victorious, safeguarding the precious nectar from the demons. As Garuda soared through the skies, he scattered particles of the Amrita across the earth, blessing several sacred sites: Prayagraj, Nashik, Ujjain, and Haridwar. These locations, enriched by the divine nectar, would later evolve into revered pilgrimage destinations. Every 12 years, the celestial nectar draws devotees together for the Kumbh Mela, a grand celebration held across these four holy sites: Haridwar, by the banks of the Ganges in Uttarakhand; Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh; Nashik along the banks of the Godavari River in Maharashtra; and Prayagraj at the confluence of the Triveni River in Uttar Pradesh. Prayagraj is often revered as the king of Tirthas. Every 6 years, it hosts the Ardh Kumbh Mela alongside Haridwar. Following 11 Purna Kumbh Melas, the event culminates in the grand Mahakumbh Mela, which occurs only once every 144 years, solely in Prayagraj. Central to the Kumbh Mela experience is the sacred ritual of taking a holy dip in the Tirthas. The principal bathing days, known as Shahi Snan, are considered the most auspicious, as it is believed that the divine presence of gods accompanies saints and sages on these days. This sacred bath is thought to cleanse one's sins and liberate the soul from the cycle of reincarnation. As our boat approached our destination, a slight apprehension began to creep into our minds at the sight of the throng. We had arrived at a place bustling with thousands of boats and tens of thousands of people. After considerable effort and some jostling, Lalu Bhai and Motu skillfully maneuvered our boat close to the shore. We leapt across several vessels and made our way to the designated bathing area. All around us, a myriad of boats filled the waters, and the crowd was electric with excitement. Arun and I entrusted all our belongings to Fajil and descended into the refreshing water. The water was surprisingly cold, yet it was not very deep, just waist-high at most. Contrary to the stories we had heard, this river was not polluted at all. Even though millions had come to bathe, we could not detect any dirt or filth. The water also had a good flow. I prepared myself for the holy bath. Closing my eyes, folding my hands, taking a deep breath, and meditating on all the deities in my mind, I slowly lowered myself into the sacred waters of Triveni Sangam. As I closed my eyes, folded my hands, and immersed myself in the cool, flowing waters of Triveni Sangam, an indescribable sense of joy and awakening washed over me. I felt an immense surge of energy and peace. The tradition holds that after bathing, one should not wipe off the water. Next, we prepared for a ceremony to worship Mother Ganga. Arun and I were ready, and the Pandits awaited us in several boats, having arranged the necessary provisions. Fajil observed everything with the wide-eyed curiosity of a small child. After reciting the verses alongside the Pandit, Arun and I began the Ganga Puja. For Hindus, the Ganga is not merely a river, but revered as Mother Ganga. It is believed that King Bhagirtha, through severe penance and with the help of Lord Shiva, brought the Ganga from heaven to earth so that his ancestors could attain salvation. The Yamuna river holds a close association with Lord Krishna. In the Mahabharata, the Yamuna is referred to as Kalindi, and its banks are celebrated as the birthplace of Lord Krishna. The legendary Kaliya Mardanam is said to have occurred in the Yamuna. Additionally, the famous tale recounts how, when Vasudeva sought to save the infant Krishna from Kamsa, the Yamuna miraculously halted its flow and split into two, clearing a path for Vasudeva. The Saraswati river, revered as the most significant river in the Puranas, has vanished from the earth's surface in modern times, shrouded in the mystique of legend. According to tale, it disappeared due to a curse. One day, while seated on the banks of the Saraswati river, Lord Ganesha listened to the recitation of the Mahabharata by Vedavyasa. The river's strong current made it difficult for him to hear, prompting Vyasa to request the river to flow gently. When the river ignored his plea, Ganesha, in his anger, cursed the Saraswati to descend into the underworld. However, research suggests that this sacred river still flows underground through the regions of Haryana, Punjab, and Rajasthan, with its waters believed to resurface in Prayagraj, where it joins the Ganges and Yamuna. Today, the only visible remnants of the Saraswati can be found near Mana village in Badrinath. Visitors can also explore the nearby Vyasa cave and Ganesha cave, sanctified sites where it is said the Mahabharata was penned. There are 3 Shahi Snans, or royal baths, that are considered the most important during this Mahakumbh Mela, which is being held in Prayagraj after 144 years, 14th January for Makar Sankranti, 29th January for Mauni Amavasya, and 3rd February for Basant Panchami. In addition to these, there are regular baths on 13th January, 4th February, 12th February, and 26th February. Following the puja, we offered dakshina, performed Ganga Abhishekam, and presented 3 coconuts before returning to our boat. By then, hundreds of other boats were arriving at the Sangam. Tomorrow marks Basant Panchami, the last day of the Shahi Snan, or royal bath, of this Mahakumbh Mela. I truly wish to return tomorrow for another bath. Lalu Bhai and Motu warned me that there would be a crowd 1,000 times larger, But I am determined to come back because the next Mahakumbh Mela will not occur for another 144 years, and neither I nor my next 2 generations may have the chance to partake. No matter the hardships I face, I made up my mind to make the pilgrimage again tomorrow. Today, we plan to witness the Akhadas, one of the most captivating sights of the Kumbh Mela. On our way back, I caught sight of a remarkable machine used to remove waste from this sacred river, gliding along the surface and sucking up debris around it. Now I understand why there was no waste when I bathed. We bid farewell to Lalu Bhai and Motu, and embarked on our journey toward the Akhadas via an electric rickshaw. The sights along the way were abundant. Women selling Rudraksh, people balancing garlands on two-wheelers. It became clear that the Kumbh Mela has provided the locals with a vital source of income. The walls we passed were adorned with beautiful paintings, each telling a story related to the Kumbh Mela. As we continued our journey, hunger struck, and we enjoyed a light breakfast at a fancy restaurant called Sagar Ratna, conveniently located along the route to the Akhadas. The road leading to the sector housing the Akhadas was temporarily closed, and we reluctantly decided to walk instead. Just then, a man cycling a rickshaw came along, one typically used to carry rice, sacks, and fertilizer in our country. The roads were maintained with care, although dust was prevalent, necessitating the use of masks. The crowd continued to swell around us. A rickshaw driver ahead finally dropped us off at one of the gates of Kumbhangari. People thronged the area, making their way toward the Akhadas amidst swirling dust. Handicraft shops lined the sides of the road. As we passed through another gate, the crowd surged again. Thousands of pilgrims flowed along the makeshift paths like a river swollen with devotion. In the realm of astronomy, the timing of the Kumbh Mela is intricately determined by the celestial positions of the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter. Centuries ago, long before the advent of modern technology, our ancient sages astutely calculated these planetary alignments, ensuring the festival was held with remarkable precision. This remarkable ability serves as a testament to the profound knowledge of astronomy possessed by our ancestors. Another reason for pride among Keralites is the legacy of the great Saint Jagar Guru Sri Adi Shankaracharya, who was born in Kayaladi, Kerala. He not only conquered the Sarvaj Peeth, but also envisioned the Kumbh Mela as a grand platform for religious gatherings and dialogues among Hindu saints long ago. The Kumbh Mela is overseen by 13 Aghats, 7 Shaiva Aghats, known as Juna Aghats, 3 Vairagi Aghats from the Vaishnav tradition, and 3 Ulasina Aghats representing the Sikh order of Sadhus. Of these, the Juna Aghat belonging to the Dashnami lineage, established by Shankaracharya, stands as the largest and oldest. This venerable group includes the Naga sannyasis, ascetics who cover themselves in ashes, forsaking clothing to embody the Digambara ideal. We made our way across bridge number 13, witnessing the construction of the bridge itself, elegantly designed with giant shells. The Aghats are a community of monks willing to take up arms if necessary to protect their spirituality and religion. The governing body of the Aghats is elected at the Kumbh Mela, with the highest position being that of Acharya Mahamandaleshwar. This time, Swami Sadhu Anandavnam Bharati from Kerala was elected to the position of Mahamandaleshwar, marking the first time in about 60 years that a Malayali has held this high office. The constitution of the Aghats is unwritten, but is considered inviolable. The royal bath, known as Shahi Snan, is the main ceremony of the Kumbh Melas and has its own specific procedures. The Naga sannyasis bathe first, and only after all the sannyasis of one Aghat have completed their bath can the next Aghat begin. As we crossed, an array of vivid stalls awaited us, vendors offering intricately crafted necklaces of Rudraksh, pearls, and exquisite handicrafts. One artisan was skillfully breaking and cleaning Rudrakshs right before our eyes, showcasing his craft. Arun bought 2 Rudrakshs after checking its quality. We reached the Naga monk's temporary ashram. He sat resolutely beside the Homakunda, his posture as firm as a spear, and his gaze piercing and intent upon my camera. Respectfully, I turned it off and tucked it away. He welcomed us with open arms, offering each of us a refreshing glass of sugarcane juice, a much-needed relief after our long journey under the sun. We expressed our gratitude and prepared to move to the next tent. After noticing the gaze of the monk sitting in the next tent and the make in front of him, I slowly walked over to the next tent without even trying to film a video. As I glanced at the next tent, the sight startled me. A monk deeply meditating with his hand raised, nails long from years of unwavering devotion. Nearby, another monk, adorned with a Rudraksh amulet and turban, donned stylish sunglasses that juxtaposed his apparent asceticism. Another monk, though he seemed humble at first glance, Arun mustered the courage to approach him, touch his feet, and receive his blessings. As we proceeded, a group of devotees in front of us sang bhajans, their voices blending harmoniously with the energy around us. We continued our journey, passing another monk resting on the bonnet of a tractor, and with just a bottle of water in hand, I bravely captured a picture beside him. Reaching another gate, I marveled at the exquisite depiction of Samudra Madhan displayed above. All around us, temporary pathways crafted from iron sheets buzzed with activity, people selling bottles to fill holy water from Triveni Sangam to those eager to take a piece of the sacred home. Exhausted from our extensive walk, we decided to retreat to our room for rest. However, all roads had been temporarily closed due to traffic, forcing us to navigate to the Prayagraj railway station. The next train to Rambagh is not for another 2.5 hours. Until then, we sat there, taking in the sights around us. There, we found a sea of people. We have been waiting for 2.5 hours for a journey that should take only 15 minutes. As we lingered, I encountered a young man beautifully dressed as Lord Shiva, a fitting image for the divine atmosphere. As we sat there, the Vande Bharat Express whisked past us. After a long wait, we took the train to Rambagh. As we travel over the railway bridge above Kumbhanagri, we are greeted with a breathtaking view. From here, you can clearly see the bridges that lead to Akhadas. Beyond the rich tapestry of legends and myths, Kumbh Melas hold profound historical significance. Notably, the renowned Chinese traveler Huenzhang, who journeyed to India in the 7th century, attended the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj. These sacred gatherings also served as an influential platform for the exchange of ideas during India's freedom struggle. At the Prayagraj Kumbh Mela in 1906, under the visionary leadership of Madan Mohan Malviya, the decision to establish the Banaras Hindu University was made. Thus, Kumbh Melas are not only spiritual congregations, but also pivotal moments in the tapestry of India's history. Upon arriving at Rambagh railway station, we ventured along the street to our hotel, mesmerized by the profusion of flower shops lining both sides. The sight of a wedding party, filled with vibrant attire, melodious songs, and dazzling lights, added to the day's magic as we witnessed the joyful send-off of the bride and groom. We slept way quickly. Today is 3rd February, Basant Panchami, marking the final Shahi bath of this century's Mahakumbh Mela. We set out early in the morning, arriving at the boat club beneath the Naini Bridge. The boatmen's prices had doubled since yesterday, a testament to the increasing devotion in the air. After some spirited negotiation, we embarked on our journey to Triveni Sangam, maneuvered by an elderly man and his 2 sons, one of whom was visually impaired. The crowd had swelled tenfold since our last visit, but with persistence, we managed to reach the banks of the Sangam. With hearts brimming with excitement, we immersed ourselves in the holy waters. This was the last Shahi bath of our lifetime's Mahakumbh Mela. As we bid farewell to Prayagraj, we set our sights on another magnificent realm, Kashi.